What's going on, Jackie? You're out of here? All right. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bucket N Hoosier Show, another Monday night here on September 12th. And as always, Bucket, how you doing, buddy?
Bucket, it's Monday, baby. Mondays are now my favorite days because I get to sit here and chat with you about all the things that I love, including Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean, we love talking about Rocket League. It's what we're here for. So many things going on right now. Like, I don't even know. Like, we have CoachCole on standby. He's hanging out, waiting for us to pull him up. But I first wanted to make sure we went over anything and everything that we know that's going on right now. And it's tip of that hat to Tomlin and Jackie. They have been all over it today. Jackie just dropping everything in our Discord the past couple of days. Well, the biggest thing this past week was Vatira exiting Moist officially and looking to start his own thing. Dad Vibes Gaming dropping the follow. We appreciate you. But that's fucking wild. Like, I saw it happen and I was like, what are we doing? Like, come on. But then his explanation came out that Tomlin had gotten from Reddit, and I don't know. I can't fault him. If that's how he feels, then yeah, it's time to go find a different team. He seems like he really wants to compete, and the other two don't.
I mean, it's very unfortunate because I still consider him one of, if not after the LA land, he became my number one best player in the world. Like after that, I was like, that guy has something special. So seeing it all the way culminate all the way to this point has been really weird. But once we got past that barrier of language and we got all the information, I feel like it's a little bit more understood, like what's going on. And that's part of it too, right? Like he just didn't feel part of the team like he wishes he did. And he felt some of the other stuff was a little bit maybe lost in translation that I read. I don't know if you have the full thing there, but there was something about losing not going the full distance to game sevens and stuff like that. He kind of got a little bit lost in there.
He didn't like going to game sevens. Like he wants to just demolish his opponent. I'm trying to find it right now because there is so much chatter that happened in our Discord the past couple of days. But yeah, he didn't. He just. It seemed like he didn't like just going to game 7. He really wanted to push for. Actually demolished his teammate. CJ, who's that? Welcome, buddy. How are you doing? I think I might have scrolled past it, but yeah, I guess when I read it, it made my brain kind of go like this, because if they weren't, like he said, he wanted to practice more. He wanted to really work on things. And if they weren't doing that, but got the results that they did, wow. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. But they're all just so individually good players that we were able to make it into a team without some of the things that other teams need in order to be that good. So hopefully they all get into a good situation where they have that team that they all need, and then they'll just be even better, right? Like that's the hope. We want to see the best of the best playing at their best.
Correct. We want to see the best of the best playing at their best, and everybody striving to be better. So, I mean, I understand where Vatira is coming from, why he exited, but it's super sad to see. Was it Carmine Corp or Advanced Talks with Moist over Vatira? So it looks like Vatira and Exotic could be filling out the K Corp roster. The Queen's new favorite team, Cash, Ixo, and Relenting Wave, going to they're looking for an org. So that's a team looking for an org. Astral poised to replace KDOP, which that did not happen. They nixed that whole idea. And the only thing I can find is there's talks that there's a video out there. It's an older video, like I don't know how old it is. I wanted to put a number on it, but I really don't know, of him saying, I guess, a racist comment in a language that I don't know. So who knows on that one? I've not seen anything actually officially come out on that. And then everything today, was it Fever? Yeah, Fever going to Team Power. Scrolling past all this, there was a lot that got dropped today too.
Yeah, there's a lot in that latest trending transactions, huh?
Which roster do you think Rettel will sign with? I really don't. I don't know. My dream scenario right now, if I could like pull one out there, Rettel's an abjact. Grab a third and compete in NA. That is what I think could end up happening. Big Shane, what's going on, buddy? What else was this? Complexity are set to complete the cross-region signing of CRR heading into RLCS. Moist, they sent out a tweet to Nolly because Nolly is up for grabs. Who else right there? RW9, NW, and Killers. I think over in Mina, they're looking for an org. Oh, here was that Viteria explanation. So, kind of French to English, it's a little broken. It says, in Scrim, some teams almost blacklist Moist for trolling, but Viteria likes to train. He was afraid that the team would only play for tournaments. He felt alone and almost abandoned. Besides their amazing performances, he didn't feel good in the team. Maybe the language was the cause. This is also senior analyst Tomlin adding his take on it. Even if he knows that they were really good, he also thinks that they choked a lot and had some luck. He doesn't feel good to always go on game 7. For example, he prefers a game where he wins after a timeout and destroys other teams after. He doesn't know if they are leaving in good terms with the team, but in his opinion is that they will be mad at him. He still considers Joyo and I think Rise as bros. So Tomlin doing some digging out there on Reddit and finding out what's the deal. So
I thought Tomlin watched the stream and wrote down the translations himself. That's what I think.
No, he went and found it. So good on him.
Yeah, thank you still. I mean, that's such good information I would never have found, honestly, without these guys that we have in here.
Okay, so Moist that did put out a tweet to Nolly, but recent from Shift today at around noon, Moist Esports are expected to round up their roster with the talented Archie heading into the next season. So looking like Archie's going to Moist. Top blokes are back. Casio, Ryzex, and Razors. They're looking for an org. Who is this one? The Zookeepers, Tor, Blaze, and Ralzo. They're looking for a coach and a sub going into the season. So good for you guys. No, Reddles does make his official leave announcement from SSG, and new org announced soon. So a lot of things going on, and
it's just going to be more as we get closer.
Right, it is just going to be more. Well, I mean, we still haven't even had an announcement of when the season or the year of tournaments actually starts. Yeah,
last year again, it was the middle of October, so less than a month out from finding out more information for sure.
Any bubble teams out there, make sure you're getting your stuff together and you guys are ready to go. That's the rundown of all the roster information right now. Don't want to go like harp on it too much because there's still a lot of unknowns. Ooh, I will say this. 5 hours ago, tweet from Nolly. I feel like some of these orgs need to step in and stop letting players have full say on who they kick. It's such a mess. People team with friends and then ruin whole orgs just because. That's why personally I'm all for franchising.
Boom. Nolly just got the biggest follow of his life from Bucket.
I literally retweeted. I was like, it's like he watches the Bucket and Hoosier show.
It's like he literally what we've been saying in his sleep. Well,
so that is a very good segue. So we're bringing on Coach Cole tonight. Coach Cole, somebody that has been highlighted a lot in the Rocket League scene the past 2 weeks. He was brought on to T-Base's stream to talk about his knowledge on why he thought BDS was really good. You can go back and watch the stream, the YouTube video from Roll Diz. I guess I will say it was, I don't know, it was an interesting situation. It was really fast. I can see why it kind of got sideways a little bit. But him and Bucket got into an interesting conversation in Discord. Bucket had posted a poll about, do you think Rocket League should become a league again? And Coach Cole feels very different. Maybe in a few years, but I don't think we're ready for franchising just yet. CJ? Well, we're about to get into it. So yeah, basically that's where we're gonna start. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are gonna bring up Coach Cole. Coach Cole, welcome to the show, buddy.
How's it go? Everyone wants to listen and talk about franchise,
Oh, we're talking about all of
That's
it.
just one piece of the whole.
All right. Yeah.
It's very interesting that he found that. Our segue there into.
Yeah, it's kind of
Warriors.
ironic.
Because he's just over there poking around to make sure we run down any information we missed for the week. But yeah, welcome, Coach Cole, man. It's awesome to have you. It's nice to have a quick chat in Discord with you, kind of back and forth there. So that's why I was like, let's bring him on. Let's get information from him. Let's learn about you. Let's see what you have to say about the journey that you've been on, and then we can just have an open conversation. So tell us about yourself.
Where do you want to start? Okay. I've been coaching for like 4 years, ever since I was like platinum, but I really started getting coaching like 9 months ago. Been coaching for like 9 months straight. Started with like Team Flux, and then worked my way all the way up to coaching Snow, Fluby, in Tokyo. They're like B+ level right now, but they got into B+ on like 70% win rates. They're disgusting. So we're aiming for like top 16 this season, hopefully. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much about me. I run a coaching org. That's about it.
So,
and then I've been into shit a little bit recently.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, well, yeah, that's for sure. So going back to like how you got into it. So you were a player, you started playing, and you're like, you know what? I have this other aspect of myself that I know that I can bring the best out in some of these players who might be better than me.
If I'm being honest, like when I was plat and diamond, I got bored of playing, so I started coaching. I don't know.
That's another reason.
But yeah, when I was champ, I was coaching like 1500s, just like champ 2. So, and like now I'm still coaching people like way above my rank even now. So I just kind of stuck with it, and it works.
Don't forget the old saying: those who can't do, teach, and those who can't teach, coach.
Oh, but here's the thing. I'm trying to prove that I can do, though. I'm trying to prove that I can do.
No, absolutely, and that's
you get egoed so hard just for being a rank C as a coach, dude. It's so bad. You get egoed. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So let me.
That's what's crazy to me.
So let me ask you a question. So like, you just said you're a lower ranked player coaching players that are higher ranked than you. What do you feel you bring to the table to help those higher ranked players play better?
Well, okay, that's a good question. Actually, I like that. Okay, so if their level of team were to like go off on their own, and like without a coach, like I'm really strong on like saying like players shouldn't coach each other. Like you can't like it's just I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like I don't know exactly what I bring. I bring like good vibes, just the small things that help them like play more confidently. But like in my opinion, it doesn't matter what rank the coach is. It's more about like how much coaching experience they have, because like all the coach does is just watching the gameplay, notices the small things, mention the small things, and then it helps. Whereas like if a player were to like, say like, hey, stop doing this, or like they can they're like, sorry for stuttering. they use their emotions a lot more. Whereas like a coach, like we take ourselves out of the situation. But like if a player tries to do it in the moment, they're still in that situation. So their emotions are going to be attached to it, no matter how good they are at hiding it. No matter how good. Like even like a rank one team pro, if they had no coach, their emotions will still be attached to it, and that's a big problem. You need someone like a mediator, someone who can like understand like how the players are feeling and like help each other talk about it.
But wouldn't you feel that a player, someone who has been in that situation, is someone who has the best experience to relate to them?
So not really though, not really. Well, because I mean, yes, but that player hasn't been in the coaching position. That's the difference. So I do think like a high level player could at some point, make it there and be a really good coach, but right away probably not, because they'd have like if you take a pro player, like I don't know, like any random pro, and you tell them to coach like this high level team, he would have no idea what to talk about. Even though he's a high level player and has all this knowledge, you have to actually coach. There's a difference.
So I think that's where my question was going to. So when you're coaching these players that are a higher rank than you, outside of just good vibes, how are you helping the team and being a more cohesive unit and moving forward in their careers?
Well, okay, like as individuals or as a team, because those are
Both.
two different things.
It's both. A coach is going to be a mentor to the team as a whole, but then
I'm
also
trying to like place myself into what you're saying so I can figure out exactly how to say this. Because like there's different ways to, like, you have a different mindset as a coach when you're going to a scrim, you have a different mindset when you're going to replay review, you have a different mindset when you're talking to them. It's very different, right? So like where do you want to start?
So I guess for the team as a whole, we'll start there.
Just helping them, like, okay, if I'm going to generalize it as much as possible, just increasing their awareness of their teammates and every player on the field.
Okay.
Because that's what matters. Like that's what matters, right? Like they already know to play the game, right? Like they're very, very good at this game. Mm-hmm. Like I don't need to tell them to hit the ball. Like that's like anything like super basic. But you just gotta like the small things.
No, it makes sense. That's a very good answer.
Like control it off defense more. Someone actually said to my players today because they were like banging out too much. Like it's just like simple stuff, and they control it better, and then they win. It's just making observations.
Here's the thing that I noticed about you, Cole. I didn't know too much about you until we started chatting a little bit, and then you invited me to your Discord, the Rocket League Coaching Academy Discord. And you pointed me towards this performance section, which I had already actually looked at before you did. But that all is, it's like coaching in a bottle right there. You have a section for mental health, for posture, for sleep hygiene, for energy management, for focusing strategies.
That's ran by Nathan. So he actually made those. That's not me.
Still, like the things though are what a coach brings to the table.
Yeah.
Like the intangible portions of the game that the players can't focus on. They don't have it's not that they don't have the mental capacity to. It's that in their playing days, they don't need to focus on that.
So and it's not that they can't, because some teams do like play without coaches, right? Like I know we saw Queso. Like when Queso was a team, they dropped their coach. They still did really good. But like the thing is, like you don't, as a player, you don't want to be thinking about like what you're doing, right? That's the last thing you want to be doing, because like our Arsenal used to say like turn off brain, hit ball. And that's like the best thing ever, because if you can have a coach who can help you keep your brain off as much as possible, that's good. You just want it to be off, because then they're just like only focusing on like the 1 to 2 things they need to be improving during scrims.
So what's other things that you, I guess, are taking off their plate that a non-coach team would have to worry about?
Like a non-coach. Well, the psychology aspect of it. As a player, again, if you're like in that high intense situation, you're not thinking about exactly what's tilting your teammates. Like and they could. Like, I don't know, it depends on the player. Some people might. Like you're still coming in coming in like from the English, coming into the situations from like a biased perspective. So like when they're thinking about the game, they're thinking about the game and how it's affecting them, right? So like they're thinking about it from their perspective. They can't think about it from the other player's perspective as much, because they can only see 1/3 of the like 1/3 of the screen, right? Well, 1/3 of the gameplay,
right?
Which is why player coaching doesn't work. And like even if they do like replays together, it's just not going to work, because now they're going to flame each other.
Gameplay.
Yeah, they're going to flame each other, and they're still going to look at the game from their own perspective. Even if they look at it from fly view, it's still, they're going to watch their car more.
So let me ask you this. We'll kind of switch gears, but stay with the same kind of topic. Is what do you see from the time you started coaching, where you say that maybe you were coaching like 1,500 level players, to now, and what the difference is in the coaching of that, and what would make you get to the next level of coaching? Like, are there nuances just between the gameplay?
Well, a lot of it's just being faster, because like as a coach, sometimes it's better to not say anything. If there's a chance that it might tilt the players, you're probably better off just not saying anything and let them do their thing. So like getting to that next level as a coach, I just need to be faster, like in between goals, like picking up the big things I need to work on or fix, so they're not like tilting and there's like dead silence, or like yeah, and a lot of it's like the psychology aspect that I still need to learn because like I'm bad at that. That's what I'm working on. I'm still like a lot of my coaching is based on like how the players like interact as humans, like how their relationship is, because in my opinion that matters a lot more than like the gameplay side of it, because like they know how to play the game, right?
Do players and coaches also feel this way that you say? Because this is how I feel. Like I have coached
Well,
at a lot of
it
levels,
depends on who
not
you
in
talk
Rocket
to.
League,
It
but
depends on
like
who you
other
talk to.
sports. So
It depends on who you talk to, because
elaborate.
some players might not care and just think about like only think about how they're going to increase their mechanics, because that's how a lot of the players are thinking about getting up there, because they see like Moist, right? And Moist is disgusting, like Moist was disgusting just because of their mechanics, right? They had disgusting mechanics, and like players, they're going to be thinking about how to improve their mechanics, which is why they're only going to focus on themselves. And it's really hard to find like I'm lucky to have this team, because not many bubble teams are going to want to stay together for very long. It's not in their best interest, unless they are good friends, right? And these guys are. That's why I'd agree with CJ and saying we're not ready for it, because like franchising is just not it's not ready yet. The players aren't developed enough as players, where they can just like hop on a random team and perform. It's not going to work because they're young, first of all. Like they're not, their brains aren't developed. Like they're still figuring out how to, have a relationship with like teammates and how to maintain a good, healthy one. There's just like there's a lot of factors that need to work on more to get to the point where we can start franchising. You look at like pro sports; they've been around forever. Of course, they can franchise, right? Rocket League's only been around for 7 years.
But also when it comes to like pro sports, say like someone who gets drafted into the NFL, a rookie, you do training camp, you have time, you work, and it's not like you show up and you're playing week 1 games immediately. So wouldn't you
But there's
say
not
that?
like training camps in Rocket League. You do that on your own. You don't need people for that. Like that improvement's all on you. Like even if like a high level a high level player, one-on-one coaching isn't very effective for them unless they're like, I mean, like I know Snowf, one of my players, he got coached by Eclipse. Like unless they are like a current like top 4 RLCS coach, like they're not going to be able to do very much
Who do you
because what?
who do you consider a top 4 RLCS coach?
Eclipse, Verge. I mean, Verge isn't on a good team, but he's still easily one of the best coaches in the world. I don't know how he's on Heroic. I don't know what the orbs are doing, but they haven't picked up Verge. They're trolling. Verge is a god. Like Verge, Eclipse. I don't know about the other ones. The other ones are kind of newer. I know BDS coach is good.
I think Fireburner's up there.
Yeah.
Fireburner. I don't know most of the coaches' names. Like I know them, I just can't remember them.
But Fireburner is the opposite of what we're talking about because he was a really good RLCS player.
Well, but here's the
still,
difference.
He's
been a coach for a long time.
player coaches.
But he's been a coach for a long time, right?
Totally. It's a different mindset, though. You see it in every pro sport where
Yeah,
only certain players become coaches. In baseball, for instance, most of the time it's a catcher because their job is to be the general
like
of the field
every
the whole
pro
time.
has the potential to become a coach, which is why Metafy like tries. Apparently Metafy like will like pay for sessions for people like when they bring on a pro player because they want to get them started, which is awesome. But like just because like you're a coach at Metafy, it doesn't make you an RLCS coach.
Do you know a lot about like international soccer? I don't know a lot about it, but
I don't know.
I've had a few people in chat now, B Davis, have run this parallel before on Rocket League becoming more like an international soccer set instead of like an NFL or an MLB or an NBA where there's a league and there's coaches. There's multiple kind of regions that have their own kind of set, and then it all culminates into like the one big tournament, the World Cup or something like that, but it's every year. So would something like that, like in between, maybe work? Or are you
Like,
saying that the Rocket
oh,
League
you mean
scene right now
like a
just
region, like
Like you
but
have
isn't
La
that
Liga, you have
like
yeah, the
region
set
based
teams?
leagues, region
So
set?
there's yeah. So
Hmm.
here's my
You mean like
argument,
an
right?
all
Like
star league?
let me break this down. Like a quick, the
An all star
pro
league might be
scene
cool.
would be top X number of teams or just X number of organizations that have the means to build a team up. And then you have those teams play all the time. And then underneath that league is some sort of feeder system, whether it's like a minor league or a college league or six man's league or whatever. But those are where they get players from. And the top players are playing in this league that no one else can get into
That's just
without a
RLS,
contract.
dude. That's just RLS. I don't know about that.
Why
We've been
not?
like,
What
we removed RLS. There's a reason because it
what's
sucked.
the reason?
It sucked. It was impossible for people to get up, and then we don't want that. It was impossible.
Explain.
Well, what like only 2 teams went up or something like that. Like I don't know exactly how it works. I know like because I wasn't really a coach during then, so I can't really talk about it too
I
much.
remember where they were like the two teams that didn't do well
But I know
came
like
down to
most
this
pros would agree
RLRS. Yeah,
RLS sucks.
agreed.
So
That's not
I
the journey I want to take either.
okay.
But a set like league itself where these are the teams that the fans are going to see, these are the teams that are in it, and these players have
What do you mean? What
contracts
do you
for an
mean
extended
set? What do
period
you
of
mean
time.
set? I don't understand that.
Like
Like
there's
we pick the teams.
no,
Like
there's
who's
like
picking the teams? That's why I'm confused.
the league itself would.
Well, who are they? Are they those are random people? I don't know who's running that.
So that's what we're trying to get to is that the way this would be set up is basically you
Like-
have the orgs. The orgs would essentially have like their own bubble team feeder system. And so then players that are coming up, they can grab them and bring them into a team so that they can develop more. And then you have your high tier, which is
Well, like explain how they're developing more. I don't see that part.
you'd be developing just like you're doing with a bubble team right now where
But you'd have a contract to a team, to a franchise.
correct.
And then you could be traded in the minor league system, the semi-pro system, to other teams.
You know, I don't. How does that work for like the managers or the coaches? Like
You would hire managers and coaches for those minor league
At
teams.
every level of that organization.
I don't. Well, like I love the idea, but like it's just there's not enough good players yet. Like B plus is still so like.
That's
But
that's
the
the
term-
point. That's
the-
how we
That's what I'm
are trying
saying.
to like get players better.
Hang on. The term a good player is arbitrary because a good player is just whoever the player base is. You're always going to have your top 1%.
Good. Well, yeah. Well, the rank doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Ranked means nothing.
I didn't say ranked. I
Well,
said
top 1%.
your top 1% is your pros right now.
The Bucket and Hoosier
They
show is
are your
recorded in front of a
top
live
1%.
Twitch audience.
And
Top point,
Mondays,
0.001%.
9:30 p.m. EST at twitch.tv
0.0001%, something like
/Mr.
that.
Hoosier.
Okay.
But
And
All the player base. You're talking hundreds of millions of players across the world that picked up the game one time.
yeah,
Right?
I'm
Like 0.00.
there's not hundreds of millions, not yet.
I'm
You gotta
talking
go look at the stats.
So I'm talking about players that are just trying to play in the open tournaments every week instead of them just playing in the open tournaments, praying to God that they somehow get through and get to a spot.
Those are B ranked players. Those are
Okay.
B ranked players.
Okay.
They are not gonna be up there for at least 6 months to a year.
Okay. So
And that's
instead,
what I'm saying.
and they may not get there at all because right
Yeah.
now, in order to get there,
But that's
you
how
have to be invited by the graces of the players that are up there to be brought into a team like that. Unless you're a Moist or a Queso and you have 3 magnificent players that happen to just come together and run the table. So
I mean,
why not create a system, a league that promotes growing players within the confines of the leagues themselves? It's no different than, say, like F1 racing. They have F2. They sign drivers. The drivers work and get better, and then when a spot opens up, they sign them and bring them to the big leagues.
I mean, that's not a horrible idea. I went okay.
That's franchising.
This is
But-
what we're trying to get to. Like, how can we
Okay, but like who's
improve
included in the franchise? That's what I'm confused about. Like, I don't like. Are we taking anyone? Like, because
Whoever-
like the orgs don't know anything about the scene. That's the problem. Like, orgs know nothing about the bubble scene.
Then it sounds like if you know a lot about the bubble scene, you would be a good person to submit your application and go, "Hi, I'll be your representative to the bubble scene. I have a good ear to the ground. I know what's going on, and I will get you the top players."
Listen, so I work at a startup right now. Like, one of my main jobs is at a startup, and when I decide, oh, there isn't this, I just go to someone. I go, I'm gonna do this, and they're like, all right, do it, and then I make it happen. Like, that's how some things have to come into existence. And one of the things in this scenario is, I heard you say on some of those, the like small argument we had on Discord was, here's some of the downfalls why that wouldn't work. But downfalls create a problem that needs to be solved. And to me, that's what I'm trying to do. How do we solve these problems and these nuances to make it better for everybody? Or
Well,
is
okay.
everything perfect?
So
the way
I
it
just read
is?
chat what Scholar just said, and like I would agree. You guys are talking about 6-man. If you guys talking about paid 6-man, like paid 6-man essentially, which
Correct.
is which
But
no, which I'm
for
all
each
for. If that's
organization.
what you mean, but you got to call it paid 6-man because like I guess kind of like
No.
franchise.
Mm-mm.
No,
I would disagree with you. And this is where I think the Rocket League community is having an issue right now, because if you want to move it into the next level, you have to get out of using terms that have just been used in Rocket League. If you go to the outside world, which at the end of the day is bringing the outside world to watch this, because that's where the money is at, you have
that's
to start
true.
using these different terms. You can't just say 6-mans. No one knows what the hell 6-mans is. If you say, hey, we
Okay.
want to franchise this, people go, oh,
so
I know
but
what
like,
that is.
but you have to understand that like it's gonna be really hard to push any of this because first of all, 6-man runs like the whole scene. I don't know how you break that or like convince all the 6-man players that this is a good idea. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea. I'm just saying I said that in the chat when we talked earlier. Also, like I'm not saying this isn't a good idea. I'm just saying I don't know how you convince anyone. Because if you're going to talk to your average B player right now, they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I'm just going to grind 6-mans." Like,
but if you
they don't.
if you came to them and said, hey, I have a spot where I'm going to pay you money to get better at Rocket League, they would go, yep, I'll go do that.
Mm-hmm. You don't
Screw
sell the
6-mans.
negative part. You sell the money. People want to follow
mean,
the money.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
know how to make money.
Yeah, you guys, we don't. We have no idea
We're
what we're
old.
doing.
We're old. We've been done doing this. That's what I'm saying. There's ways to follow the money. Money talks, contracts, all that stuff. Everyone, all the old people are saying it in the chat right now.
Yeah,
Literally,
because
money. But that's where the change comes from, and that's what I'm saying. Do you think there is a need for it, or is everything perfect?
Yeah, are you guys? Is everybody
I
fine with
would-
where it's at?
No, I think no, definitely not. I would say no. I think 6-man personally. I just think 6-mans is a toxic hellhole. If you ask me, like in every single rank, like it's really bad. And maybe franchising would do it because like maybe that would take away the egos, a little bit at least, maybe just a little bit, just a little bit.
That's probably why, and that's
hope.
again why players probably run the pro scene here too, because they come up through this system that puts them on a pedestal based off of their rank, and then they become the franchise themselves rather than the franchise becoming the franchise and then having the best players play with each other. So
okay, but
we're trying to
but those are the best
power
players though.
bit.
So how do we convince them to leave their pedestal of power? Because like you can't like okay, if you go talk to an X player right now, do you think and say it's gonna be maybe money? But like, and X players get contracted for like $1,000, and there's X players that don't go on teams at all.
What
like,
are they getting contracted for?
What?
What are they getting?
Like,
what's their contract?
700 to like to play the game. They just do scrims and some tourneys. It also varies.
So you're there, Bucket. They're literally doing. It's no different than a male getting a scholarship to a university to play against the women's college basketball team.
Well, no, but it's a lot more lax than what you're thinking. Also, franchising is gonna make it a lot more serious, which I want. But again, you're gonna try to convince all these 15-year-olds to be like, hey, let's start taking the game seriously. Why would they do that? They can just fuck off.
Hang on, no,
Because instead of 300,000 watt viewers, we want 1 million.
Well, no, here's the thing too. So they're already doing that. The franchising is already there, Bucket. It's just being ran under the table.
It's just clicks. It's just clicks. Yeah. It's all clicks. All clicks. Anyone in chat will agree. Is six man is just clicks. It's all clicks. like if you go and talk in 6-mans, if you are not like B+, you're getting egoed.
Because Bucket, it's the same thing. There are guys that sit in the minor leagues that are like, I don't want to try any harder. I'm okay with what I'm making right now. It would be the same thing.
Scholar, you can prove your value with a contract also.
I like Scholar's points too. He makes a lot of good points and absolutely he's smart in the regard of what's going on currently. And that's what we want to know. Like, how is it working? Do you see this being the way that this needs to go forever?
Then you need to talk to the managers. Like, hold on. Are you in the managers Discord?
No, we're not in those.
We're waiting for these invites, baby.
I got you. It's an invite. This is what I'm saying. It's invite only, dude. This shit's invite only.
That's what I'm saying. This is the entire point of this whole podcast while we started was to network our way into understanding the game that we love more and seeing how we can help progress it. That's what we want to do.
Well, yeah, definitely get in there. That's like the scene is ran by the top people in 6, probably like B+, probably like A, X, and above 6-mans, and everyone in the manager Discord. This is where it's ran. This is where everything is. This is where all the drama is talked about, like everything.
Interesting.
It's
just a click. I'm telling you, it's just click.
I'm gonna get lost in that Discord.
Also, you're not allowed to invite. Don't invite people. Don't invite randoms. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I got you. I'll keep a low pro.
Okay. Don't say. They don't know. They're gonna ego you if you say anything. Also, just be careful. I'm just giving you a warning.
I'm 33. I don't care.
Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just saying. It's
babies in here. But we talked about that before too. Like, age isn't the only factor in becoming something or successful or understanding things. We're not those old people, but we do understand. We have experience that some of you guys have, and you have experience that I don't have, and that's why I'm trying to extract it from you. Your experience, your beliefs, what you've seen, and how you've gotten there. So that was the whole point of my trying to get a conversation going with you.
Fair enough.
So what about you? What are you doing next? What is your hopes? What is going on with your teams? Tell us, plug yourself.
My plan. I'm building up my business. Gonna take this team top 16-ish. I'm not really looking anywhere else, honestly. That's it. Just grow sessions. Get a blue tag as a coach. Make a Twitch. Do some weekly free stream or something. That's about it. I don't.
So you're ingrained now in trying to take the spot that you've built yourself to now and just blow it up. I like that.
Exactly. Well, also if you look at one of the members in the RLCA had an interesting point earlier yesterday, I think. Because with the performance section, right? He was making a joke. He was like, "What am I gonna do when the high level scene is full of people who are drinking 2 gallons of water every day?" That's a really big problem. That's why I'm trying to
Tony
do this.
Robbins those people, and you come up with the next thing. That's what it's all about.
That's because again, you look at Spook Luke's program. You look at first of all, it's bad, but I'm not gonna say anything else. I have strong opinions. Look at Medify. They're good, but they take random people, which is even Medify is kind of clicky, honestly. You can it's a good place to come up as a coach, but any random GC can coach on Medify. most likely. They take pretty much anyone. And they can get like 20, 30 sessions. And even if they're not known, if they hop in the 6-man server, get like B rank, they can start coaching.
So Benify is more of like a personal coach, right? Like a
Yeah,
one-on-one
yeah,
kind of
but
thing?
like it's technically a professional style of coaching since it's business, like it's business ran. So like it's like a cheesy way to get in the coaching scene without like
it's more like a trainer, like if you would go to like
but
a
you get paid
physical
for it.
trainer
That's
or
the
something.
problem,
Yeah,
dude.
totally.
That's the problem, right?
Coaching
All
a
of us
team is different
coaches.
than coaching an individual. I
Well,
agree
no,
with
but
that.
here's the thing though. All of us coaches who like worked our asses off, nah, dude, most of our sessions right away, we're not paid. Ain't no fucking way. We grinded out those free sessions.
But
Grinded.
don't you want better for the people that are coming up behind you?
Okay, yes, but they shouldn't be getting paid the same amount of money I am. Like, come on.
That's on
Like,
you to work a different
bro,
contract.
hey, dude. Okay, a random GC1 shouldn't be getting $20 an hour. I'm sorry. No, dude, that's bullshit. Right?
I would have to say, why are you allowing yourself to still only get the same thing that a starter person is getting?
Because the scene is click based, and promo is expensive, and yeah. Well, like people could join my server, even though there's like probably some of the best resources in the scene there right now. If they don't like me, they're gonna leave. That's the problem.
Right.
Or like they see someone talking shit in the server, they're gonna leave. The problem is the community. All right. The problem is the community. They're not making it easy. Okay. They're not making it easy. You're like even just answering questions for free for people. Like if you don't ask a good question, like if you like 99% of people that come in there are be like, I'm champ 2, how do I get a champ 3? Because they're so ingrained in like the spook Luke style of thinking, they don't realize that they should be asking like actual questions. Like you have an RLCS coach and you're not asking an actual question like, hey, like ask about situations, like all this other stuff, and like that's like it's a problem.
But is it okay? Isn't that what the aspect of coaching is? Is that when they come to you and you say that, you coach them in the, hey, let's look at the game this way. Let's talk about it in this way, and this will help you grow.
I mean, well, yes, we do that.
Okay.
But the problem is that 99% of people aren't going to want to pay money. That's the problem. Because like you're going to get these random people. Like I might like through Discord. Like I'm going to help these random people, and these people are going to come out smarter at Rocket League and like like thinking about Rocket League a different way, which is awesome. But none of us are going to get paid for that. Like that's not gonna like or like providing like these top quality like resources to like performance resources. Those are authored by someone with like 10 years in the or like he has a master's in like what like let me read his qualifications. Like this is what I'm saying. Like these aren't paid resources. Like maybe they should be, but like again, how do we get started then? Because it's not going to work. Yeah, he has a master's in sports psychology, bachelor's in athletic training, certified strength and conditioning specialist, and like 10 plus years in mental and physical performance, like with the USOC, MLB, NBA, NFL.
Okay.
Like these are like pretty much the top of the line resources. But like if we don't, but the problem is if we don't show those, like we're not going to grow. That's the problem. So we can't charge for that. That's the problem. That is the problem,
I would say I would disagree. Like you don't have to show that stuff.
Scholar, you're a Metafy student.
What did you say he is?
That's Scholar. He uses Metafy. But like that's the thing. We don't want to like. I don't want to like, pigeonhole myself into some like company. That's the problem. Like, I could go on Metafy, and I could bring all my sessions to Metafy, right? And yeah, I'd probably start blowing up as a coach. But the problem with that is that they charge like an $8 platforming fee or something stupid. So, but it's not even charging it to me. It's going to charge my students. So it's going to make my students pay $8 more to use their goddamn fucking platform, which is shit. Why are they paying $8 to use their platform?
Because they're a two-sided marketplace, right? It's like Airbnb. They bring a host and they bring a guest and they bring them together without you having to do any of that marketing whatsoever to get your name out there. That is what a two-sided marketplace does. And that is a really good, as you can tell, there's so many of those out there, Uber, Airbnb, that do really well at that. And this is the same concept, only it's more of a mental thing or bringing people together to talk rather than it is a physical good. So their platform does what it's supposed to do. I don't know about the dollars and whatnot, but
Oh, I'm not
it is
saying it doesn't do what
it
it's
is
supposed to do.
one good way to get yourself some exposure, but it definitely shouldn't be your only source of income as a coach.
Oh, 100%.
So, and Scholar kind of just answered the thing that I had coming up, which was you can start on Medify, and then if you build yourself a base, you can move on without using Medify, right?
And okay, I guess so. Yeah.
So,
For sure.
so then, and this is where I kind of come like saying like if you're making the same on Medify as someone. Me, I barely hit GC like last season. I go hop on Medify and say, "Hey, I'm gonna start coaching. I have a GC tag, and I'm making the same as you." But if you have a bigger base, and now you're gonna pull, there's a chance of you pulling all those students from Medify, then you now have leverage of going back to Medify and being like, "Hey, I like working with you guys. You guys are great, but I have these students that are ready to come here with me. Are you willing to pay me more?" And if they're not, then you can exit and take your group of students with you. I mean, that's essentially what you've done, right?
The best. It's not a contract with Medify. There's no contract. It's not contracted. That's the problem. Like if it was a contract and like Medify was paying me, then sure, yeah, I'd go join. But Medify is not the one paying me.
Oh,
It's. I mean, like they have apparently they have like promotions where it's a half off for the students and you still get like full money. But again, they're trying to use like these side like sketchy like again like half off, but we still pay you full price instead of like actually paying them as paying you as like a like a what's it called?
Why do you find that sketchy?
But because I'm not an independent contractor and I'm not an employee, so I have no protection in any way.
Protection from what?
As a coach. But why can't they just sign us as an independent contractor? That's what I'm saying.
What kind of protection are you looking for?
Any.
That's what I'm trying to like protection from what? What protection is a word
Stability.
So you're looking for stability, like
stability. That's a good word.
Okay.
Because of there's no stability in there's low stability at least.
Correct. There is low stability in Rocket League as a whole right now for the pro scene. Would you agree?
100%.
What's up with that?
No franchising.
It's all funneled to the top.
There's no league.
There's no league.
That's my argument for everything.
Because it's not a league. So this is something that him and
it's an open tournament.
Yeah, that Bucket
that
and I have
anyone
discussed,
can join.
It's not even close to being a league right now. It's an open tournament every week with a couple of teams that have automatic bids. That's it. It's no different than someone starting up their own tournament right now.
Okay, I'd agree, but yeah, okay, fair enough.
Well, no, what was your butt?
No buts, no buts.
Okay.
I just well, it would work. I think it might be better, but again, there's the convincing of the people. And because I mean,
it's going to take some good salespeople to pull off some big changes, and it's more of a
you have fun talking to those 15-year-olds, man, right?
It's
all
not
I'll
a
say.
Speedboat. We're not moving it quickly, right? It's going to be
fair
a
enough.
big sailboat. We're trying to move one piece.
Well,
at a
okay,
time.
but here's the problem: they have unless you show the money, it has to be fully set up and ready to go before you even talk to them. That's what I'm saying.
Just look at that Saudi tournament, though. I mean, there's money out there.
Yeah, but that's because it was set up. But it had no viewers, by the way. Also, that was horrible.
They don't care. There's enough people, organizations, businesses, founders, investors out there who have enough money to pull off the things that we're saying. We just need to come up with a good plan.
But how does that benefit the bubble scene?
Because those players will no longer be a bubble to all the rest of the players. They'll be a bubble to a team, to an org. They'll be working towards a goal to get onto the live team that they're already a part of.
It adds structure to the bubble scene instead of it being wild, just everybody running everywhere, changing teams every week.
And without structure, some of the better players who might come in might be turned away by being egoed or not understanding how the politics of it or whatever else. So we're just trying to get the best
Yeah,
Hang
that's,
on,
that's what I'm
Dave.
saying. You guys,
into the pro
that's
scene.
what I'm saying. You guys need to be careful because again, like let's say like I coach like so like my team's like B plus right now, even though they scrim like AX. So like if we were to like message like an X team right now, we'd get egoed so hard, and then we wouldn't be able to talk to them till like the team was X. But if like they waited till like A, and then message it, like I don't, there's levels of ego. If you're not up there, they don't talk to you.
Well, I mean, that's with anything. Like, I don't see that as necessarily a bad thing. Like, if I'm that high of a team and another team asks me to come scrim right now, I'd be like, no, that's not to my benefit right now. I do want to say something, though. Dazio said it best. Probably the only option to surpass 6-mans is what League of Legends did with scouting grounds, but for Rocket League in each region. It's such a large money drop that unless all regions can agree, 6-mans will always be easier, cheaper, and less infrastructure. That's right. That's kind of what Buck and I have gotten to over this whole time, is that our charge right now to Psionics as a whole and Epic is actually invest in your pro scene at this point. They're letting everybody else just carry it right now.
In so many aspects too, not just coaching, not just players, but in content creation and all kinds of things. It's being carried by the base of players and creators, and it's really wild that that's not being honed in on by this big company that bought this small company that just made this video game.
And actually, hang on, to Scholar and Daisy in chat, you guys are saying only NA and EU, like it seems like from what I'm reading, have like the money or the funding to go for right now. I would argue that and say that actually MENA has all the funding right now, because with Saudi Arabia making that branch of government for gaming, that's where all the money
Esports
is.
gaming government.
Okay,
I mean,
here's the problem with franchising though. Like I think you could franchise a little bit, like you can't go and franchise APAC, dude. That's what I'm saying. How are you gonna go franchise APAC when there's literally essentially no tourneys, like, or like Sam? There's like, and there are tourneys in Sam. I think I don't know a lot about Sam, but like there's no money unless like you're like one of the top 4 or 6 teams, and even then it's like it's still like equivalent to like what, like top 16 NA. Like the problem is like and also like those players like below top 6 in Sam are not pros. Like they might be top. Actually, I don't know about Sam. Okay, APAC for example. APAC, I know APAC. Like top 8 APAC or like top 12 Oceania. Like those, they might be that high, but they're not pros. So how are you gonna go franchise a level that's not pros? Like they're gonna get paid even though they're not pros.
I would say from your position, that's not something that you want to consider. If I'm somebody looking to get into the scene, but say I don't want to franchise an NA team, right? Because it'd be a lot more money for me. Maybe if I'm an entrepreneur who just wants to test something and see how it goes, I go franchise an APAC team, and then you do things like travel them around and get them playing with higher level talent. You start growing it.
If there's enough money, yeah, that's gonna be a lot of money. And like, is it? But like the problem with like franchising like that a region that early though is like there's gonna be new talent that overtakes these top players in these smaller regions. Like these guys aren't gonna sit here forever. Like these guys like compared to like who like the players that could come up in like 2 years in APAC or Oceania, these guys are nothing.
So
like, these guys are nothing. That's the problem with franchising this early.
All right, so I have a question of something. What would you feel as someone who has their ear to the Rocket League community of raising the age limit of being a pro?
I would honestly, if you raise it to 18, oh fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But like, here's the problem with doing that. Also, like, I'm down because then the maturity is like way better, and players are easy to coach at 18 plus. If I'm being honest, like that'd be awesome. And you could also like legally like pay them like properly without having like their parents sign for them. Like all this, we get around all this like extra stuff we don't need to worry about. But here's the problem. a lot of the really good players are 15 or 16, and like if they're not being paid like they should be, how are they going to have the motivation to keep grinding while like going to school 40 hours a week and then doing homework 20 hours a week? Like where's the motivation for them?
Well, that's
If
where
they
you
can't,
that's where you would have your feeder system. Like it's a responsibility of the orgs to.
but if they can't be pros till they're 18, like okay, if someone is pro level at 15, but they can't be pros till 18, they're gonna get paid. Are they still getting paid? That's the problem.
Yeah, they're still getting. Yeah, you still get paid in that feeder system.
I mean, okay, well, fair enough. That would work if it was like 18. Like the teams would actually be mature and not be children. And yeah, if as long as the kids are still getting paid because they should, like if they're that good, they should get paid. Then yeah, I think this would be a really good
like
system.
minor league baseball. I think
Yeah,
it would be hard to raise the age limit, in my opinion, just because the age of retirement in Rocket League is so
also,
low
what about the
too.
current pros? What about the current
I mean,
pros?
it's like 23
That would
years
be
old.
great.
Like these guys are out the door. They're gonna start their lives up, right? They're like, okay, I can't grind this video game anymore. I have to look for a career that's long term.
The answer to your question of what you do with the current pros, you grandfather them in. It's a one-time grandfather, and they're still.
So like, what would that like again? But then we have to start defining what defines a pros in each region, right? Because again, like a top 12 Oceania team, those guys aren't pros. They might be technically pros by the standards of NA or EU, but they're not pros, right?
Well, that would come down to them deciding when you start letting the orgs come in there and do that. And I think this is what happened going into the first season of RLCSX. Of when they made this change, when Cloud9 made their exit, it was definitely showing that Cloud9 wanted a bigger say in what was going on if they're going to put their name to it. And that's why I feel like we haven't seen Cloud9 come back yet. Don't know if there's any rumors of them coming back. They always like to poke their head around, but I highly doubt they're going to come back unless there's a change that actually benefits the franchises. Because what the best example right now is what happened with SSG. SSG didn't necessarily want to get rid of Reddles. It was Daniel and Arsenal deciding they wanted to move on for Reddles, meaning that they had all the power. And that's where all this would have to change, is that the players don't have the power anymore. The orgs would have
here's
the power.
The problem. Like, I mean, that's good, but like at the same time, if there's beef with some of the players, how do orgs decide how they deal with that?
How does any how does any group of people get through that?
I honestly don't know.
You
honestly,
you
have no
work
idea.
on it. You that's where the coach or the manager is the adult in the room.
That would be fucking awesome. If we have if the coaches have more power, that'd be great. That'd be like scene changing. Because coaches only have so much power.
What power don't you have right now?
They couldn't even.
Well,
bench
okay.
a
Again, here's the problem. You have to like as a coach, you have to think about how a player's going to view you when you say something. Like if they're having beef, you can only step in so much, otherwise you're going to get egoed, and then you're going to lose respect. Like there's a lot you got to think about as a bubble scene coach.
Can the players fire the coach?
Oh fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Like even up at the like an SSG level.
I mean, Queso dropped their coach. Like, the fuck you mean? Like,
no,
that's the problem.
I was just clarifying it.
No, I'm just being honest.
No, I know.
But yeah, Queso dropped their coach. Like, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guarantee he probably like messed up one time. They're like, fuck you, dude. Like, you mess up once as a coach, you're done. unless the players like love you. But like again, bubble scene players don't love coaches. Most of them, at least. Most of them hate coaches.
Why?
Because they have egos, dude. They think a C rank player shouldn't be coaching a B+ team, even though it works. This is what I'm saying. Like that's why I'm grinding up my rank, because then maybe I'll have more respect from the scene. Hopefully.
I need to have some conversations with these kids. It would be
dude. It's
really
fucking bad, dude. All right, it's horrible.
This is the stuff I live for.
Yeah, so we need some goddamn adults in the scene.
It sounds like it, and we don't want to get into age conversation, but
it's
there needs to be some experience, some life experience people in these.
Like even like the experienced people in the scene right now are like 20 to 25 generally. There's not many.
That's not bad, but yeah,
that's not bad. But like again, like
get that.
Well, the volume is low though. The volume's low. Like we have that, but it's low.
So at the end of the day, RLCS at the highest level is very, very interesting, but it's a mess. And then you look even below that and pull the curtain back, and you can see even more of the mess that it's become underneath
It's
it.
horrible. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and that's the kind of stuff. I mean, it seems like there's every year they try to change something to get more viewership, but they don't really mess
Well,
with the outside, right?
they're
Like they
like
they
it's
they repaint the house, but they never really check to see if the
yeah.
house is still stable.
Well, like they was because they only care about the people who are currently making the money, right? That's the problem. What about the people who could be making the money? They don't care yet.
Mm,
They don't care yet. That's the problem. Like the bubble scenes aren't like I mean like even like a B plus team right now is probably getting like your average B plus team unless they're like like average like a low B plus team could probably get like a 200 a month contract. That's not very good
to do what?
to play and like perform in quals, do tourneys under the tourney's name, just like overall gain the org exposure. Because like again, these are for smaller orgs. Most of the orgs contracting are small. Most I say. Unless they're actually there's a few bigger names coming up, or like they're growing a little bit. Like Empire's a big one. They're coming up, or they used to be really small, but they're growing. And like they grow from like
That's Peage's org and with
Yeah, that is
Mizu in it.
Pijazor. That's right.
well like the problem is like where are the orgs that are going to contract these teams? And also like again like the B plus scene, right? You can't just force. Are you going to force these players on a teams together? I don't see that happening. Like I mean, it has to be orgs ready to contract them. Like but like we don't have like this is a great idea, but we don't have like the you know
Infrastructure for it. I get it.
exactly
But
yeah
that's where we start at. Like
yeah
how
fair
do
enough.
we move towards something that's more sustainable long term for more people, provides more content for the viewers, gets more viewership, which equates to more money, which allows players to train better and have better resources at lower levels. So when they get to the higher levels, they're not having to do that. They're just going out there and playing at the high level. That's kind of the hope of it. Because you
Well
go look at some of these other esports like League, like we were talking about, and those players are just the best players in the world, period. Right?
yeah,
Like there's
they're
no
so
argument.
fucking good, dude. It's that they're so good. It's just goddamn boring.
For some people, yeah, totally. I mean, that makes sense too. There's some people that say NBA is boring because it's just a bunch of tall guys throwing a ball into a basket. But it's everyone's got their piece, right? I like
Yeah.
Jesus what he said here. Who's I don't know if you saw this. Best part about coaching for me was the friendships with the players. Seeing them succeed made me happy. When they were down, they drove me to find ways for them to improve. And when they won, it was the best
Yeah.
feeling. I
Okay,
imagine
well, like
that's probably true, but
here's the
how do you
problem.
find those players?
Friendship, having like a good friendship and relationship with your player is great. You need that, right? But again, you still have to be able to maintain the coach position without like having risk of getting egoed, you know? Because
Why are you
like
so worried about getting egoed?
because it's a fucking problem, dude. It's a problem. All
Is
right.
it like a problem for you personally? Like you
I've
feel
had
like
a
people
problem,
are
and then
talking,
people get egoed. Like
but I
it's
mean,
just
like,
in the
does that
scene.
mean you can't do your job as well? Is that what you're saying? Like, it
Well,
just
yeah,
doesn't
I
allow you
can't
to do
like
that?
be as hard on them as I need to, or like, because again, like my current team, again, like I'm coaching them the best I can because they like me, like they trust me, like so, like again, but like if I were to hop on like this random bubble team, I'm talking about like if you guys want a franchise, right? If that's the goal, well, like that's great, but like right now we don't have like the teams for that either, right? Like they're not set, which is one of the problems. Um, but hold on, what was I saying?
Well, I mean, I would say the teams are set. If you look at
Ooh,
this past year, and then even going into
how?
RLCSX,
Well,
the
like
orgs
the
are
teams,
there.
the orgs are there, the players are not.
I mean, the players are not.
That's what CJ meant earlier. Like the scene isn't ready. Like the players are not like ready. Like I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like shoot, I had it. It's gone.
It
But,
happens.
yeah.
Been there.
Uh,
Ask
Hold
again,
on.
Hoosier.
like the players are hopping teams, right? Like, how do we get them to stop hopping teams? Like the teams we like. If you want to like look for scrims right now, it's also very ego based, and that's the problem. That's what I mean. Like the ego is massive. Like let's say like even if you're the same level as a team and you deserve a scrim with them, like if they ego you once, or like miss a scrim, they should people like the bubble scene, like they'll intentionally miss scrims or like double book scrim sometimes, like and like take the better scrim and just to cancel with you guys. Like it's happened to me personally, and I've seen it happen. Like the people running it is just there's ego,
Yeah,
and like
it's not
even the
organized.
managers,
It's not run by the right people.
even the managers, like they're controlled by the players. Like they can't do their job properly because like if a team doesn't want to scrim this one team, they can't schedule that scrim even if it's like the best scrim they have. Like there's nothing you can do about that. Like how do you fix that? You can't. I don't see a fix for that. Where's the fix?
Well, you make those scrims into organized games, and you have a system for those players to play. That's why they would be getting paid as a franchise. They'd be playing each other on the lower levels.
So they're getting paid to scrim
as a schedule.
Well,
that's how you get better. It's like a game. It's like minor league baseball.
Well, hang on.
They're playing games against each other.
If I'm a top team, right, and I don't want to scrim somebody, I don't have to. Even if this was an actual league, I don't have to. If I keep performing at where I'm performing, why would I take the scrim?
No, I mean like because some teams will like just ego certain teams. Well, but he's saying like they're gonna be getting paid to scrim.
Okay.
So how do we fix them not wanting to play them?
Okay, but that's
or like just the blatant toxicity towards those teams, like the chat. Like the chat is a big problem. A big problem. And like I've had like in a recent tourney, like we were playing like Woody Delta Beastabonium, and Woody was like he also you guys know who Woody is? Like he like chases demos only.
He's the demo
I've
kid.
played with Woody,
demo guy. Yeah. He was like spamming quick chat, and that was tilting one of my players. And that was a mistake I made as a coach. So now every tourney we play, I'm forcing them to turn their chat off.
Okay, like again, so you made a good move as a coach. Like,
but here's I can do that. But the player is the fucking problem.
I would quick chat the crap out of you if I know that it tilts you.
Okay, but
easy.
That's messed up. Yeah, but like, why is it even a feature? Like, if we're playing like scrims or like professional RLCS, there should not be a goddamn chat. All right, that is messed up.
Wrong. That is a part of the game because it's no different than in a traditional sport. Even if I was practicing against my own teammates, I would talk shit to them when we were on the court.
All day. Hard Knocks, baby. You seen that? The two coaches were arguing with each other, offense and defense. It was crazy. They're screaming at each other, getting each other's faces, throwing each other off. Love it.
Yeah, why not? That's the shit. Why do we? Okay, but why do we need that? Like, why do we need to bring that?
Okay,
like what? You that mental hurdle. It's
you literally have a chat for it. You literally have a discussion for it in talking about mental. It's about learning mental toughness. If that is a tool in the game that I can use, you did the right move as a coach. You told them turn off quick chat. That way they don't have to deal with it because obviously it was affecting them. But to get mad at the other team for using a tool at their disposal to gain an advantage, you can't get mad. Like you can be upset about it. You can't just get mad at them and say and like go at them for that. It was there.
I wasn't mad at them for it.
Yeah, it sounds like to me you were.
I mean, well, yeah, because that's fucking low. Get good at the game. Quit being a bitch, you know.
That's part of the game. You learn mental toughness. Don't let the quick chat bug you.
It doesn't need to be though. That's what I'm saying. Like we see how it affects normal sports. Why can't we learn from that? Right?
Because I actually like that part of it. Because that is part of sports.
Stupid. It is, but like it doesn't need to be.
Demo and yeet, baby.
Doesn't need to be.
But
I think, but that creates a lot of toxicity in the scene in general. It does. Like the
that's
chat.
another. We've talked about that before, though. We also
Okay, like
need
yeah, that's
more
the difference between like
storylines.
like
We
normal
need
sports.
more
It's not like toxic, right? Like
energy.
it's more like rivalries, right? But in Rocket League, it's just straight toxicity.
But we don't want 6 kids staring at their keyboards or their controllers and staring at their games and then shaking hands and walking away every single time. Nobody wants to see that. We want to have rivalries. We want to have banter. We want to have storylines. We want to have.
Oh
things
no,
to
but
talk
what I'm
about.
saying is you can do that outside the game. There's no need for it. Like yeah, of course. I think that's a needed part. But we can do that outside the actual physical scrim. Like go shit talk them in Discord. Why not?
No.
Why not? Why not?
I would say the opposite. You
like,
do
it
it in the game. Go ahead.
No, but no. Okay, but normally they don't in like high level games. The problem is in the bubble scene they fucking abuse it because they're not good enough yet. So like we're letting mental get in the way when it really should just be focused on the actual mechanics, because that's the problem with the bubble scene, that the mechanics suck. That's the only reason they're not up there. The mechanics are not good yet. So, and then like let's say they're having an off day and they feel shit about like their day, they're gonna go take that out on the other players.
So what do you think is gonna happen if miraculously one day they got their mechanics together and then they're sitting across from Com at a LAN and Com is literally yelling at them from his seat?
Yeah, I've never seen that before. I saw that clip. What was that? What was that?
What do you mean you've never seen that before? Did you not watch any of the LANs that V1 played in?
I did. Apparently not. Apparently not enough.
Yeah, he literally was.
He's literally was saying he loves playing that.
He scores a goal and was screaming "your ass."
All right. Interesting.
Like so, where's the difference if it's in quick chat or I'm saying it across from with my voice at you? Because you can't turn that off. You can't just go turn quick chat off.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah, that take I will disagree with you that all day. In that, like, that's part of it, because at the end of the day, for your players down there in the bubble scene, the message should be to them. It's the same thing that I tweeted to Com, and him and I got into a Twitter thing about it when they lost, and he was complaining about where they were seated, and I literally just kept telling him, you just got to win. That's all you got to do. You win, it shuts them all up. There's nothing to discuss. So, man, we've covered a lot of stuff tonight, though.
You're getting heated. I love it. My man's showing so much emotion. This is the conversations, though.
It is.
I love this. I try to get him going every week, and it's really hard to get him. I play devil's advocate. I argue with him.
That's what I do.
I throw everything in this man's face, and this is the animation that I love it. It makes me so happy to see the passion come out. But that's what this that's literally the reason we started this. Me and him sat down and we would just talk about Rocket League. I would take a side, he would take a side, and we would talk about how to make it better. And now I feel like we've got the whole conversation here in chat that I've missed probably half of it because I'm listening and I'm interacting and there's so much going on. But this is what breeds innovation. This is how things get better, is sitting down, talking about it, and then figuring out a plan to do it. And I really appreciate that this is where we are right now.
Yep, really do.
I've just been sitting in free play this whole time, so I don't really mind.
Yeah, no worries. Well, Cole, we appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us, and chatting, and we look forward to chatting with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to come up with some more questions for you. I know even some of the chat was asking some questions about some things, and we didn't even get to your whole roll diz feature either.
We did not.
Well, that's a fun one. All right.
Yeah, we will definitely catch that next time though.
We
but
can save that though.
Everybody,
maybe
please
let it cool down a little bit more first.
Yeah, no worries. If you want to go ahead and quick drop the Twitter where people can find you at.
Sure. Hold on a sec. There we go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, dude. Really appreciate the conversation.
Yeah. I'm gonna go grind for B tonight.
All right.
So good.
You have fun
Good
with
luck,
that.
brother.
Thanks, Cole.
I won't.
All right, man. What a conversation, Bucket.
Oof, I love it, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is healthy. This is fun. This is exciting. The off season kind of throws a wrench in all the amazing things that we can talk about, but this is where, like I said, innovation comes through. Is when you start breaking things apart and understanding where we were, where they wanted to be now, how can we make it better, where does it want to go, and if there's a fit for any of us to get in there and help out with that. And the coaching scene, as Jesu just put on here, appreciate him coming on because coaches aren't really brought into the spotlight that often. And that's interesting too, because in the other sports world, you see the coaches kind of just give blanket statements about their whole team or the process or whatever. And they're the ones who are scrutinized the most, not the players. So maybe even getting that exposure to coaches would help bring out what the game could be too. So I really, really loved it.
I would agree. Yeah, it was a really good conversation. Like you kind of said, coaches in traditional sports, they come out and have a lot of spotlight. But we have also seen in the recent past the players are having a bigger touch as well. I mean, it's hard to like say that the players for Rocket League shouldn't have a say, because we're even seeing in like the NFL, right? When I just read I found out all about it. The quarterback for the Raiders. God damn it. Can't remember. But it's the quarterback for the Raiders and the top receiver for the Green Bay Packers. They were actually friends growing up. So when his contract came up with the Packers, he called him up and was like, hey, you want to come play? Like, there's more of that happening. So it's interesting to see where, like, like NFL, it was very top bottom driven, and it went in that way. And was that really a coach Curtis? My last name's Curtis. That's weird. I appreciate your follow though. But and then you're seeing it kind of like do a flip flop, whereas Rocket League, we had that bottom top being ran, but it seems like you got to find this middle ground. And I think that's where we're at with the scene, is finding the middle ground. Scholar saying, if you guys want some information on problems I've seen on getting players in our LCS from the local scene, let me know. I've talked about the franchise debate with friends of mine, and there's a lot of structural things that need to happen for sure. Dude, we would love to talk to you as well, Scholar. There's a link to our Discord.
Join the Discord. There we go.
That's the best place to get in touch with Bucket and I. We do these on every Monday night that we can. Let me look at my schedule right now.
Everybody join the conversation. Well, we love talking to coaches.
Next Monday might be a tight one. I'll have to look at the timing for my work schedule. I'm not sure if I will be back in time.
We've always got a plan though.
We do. We will come up with a plan. We put it in the Discord, let everybody know what is going on, as well as always sharing information. We're all about sharing information, just getting it out there and having the discussion. Can vouch for Scholar. He's a good dude. I mean, we haven't really turned anybody away yet. I mean, I would love to get Wi-Fi back on here, but his schedule is just bonkers right now and not working, because that dude had a lot of things going on at Worlds and a lot of things to come, it seems like. So there's a lot of people would like to talk to.
It seems like I call everyone kid. I mean, don't take offense to it. It's just the way I talk. But the kids that take the time to try and learn this other side of the game, rather than just I'm going to play and I'm going to be the best player I can, I have like a sentiment for them. And I really like the abilities that they come up with and the nuances, and the things that he said in there about coaching are things that I would say about coaching any other sport. So it's really, really cool to see the parallels, especially in someone literally half my age.
Right. How old do you feel right now?
I don't like talking about it, but I brought it up like 8 times tonight, so.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. We appreciate you guys all hanging out, adding to the conversation. It was fantastic to read all of chat going on. Thank you again to Coach Cole for hopping on and chatting with us. It was great. Bucket, before we go, do you have anything else?
No, that was amazing, and I love that the conversation was flowing in chat. That makes everything better. I've said everything 3 times, so let's just sign off and decompress. It was amazing.
Perfect. You all have a good week. We'll update in the Discord what is going to be going on, and we will catch you guys next time. Have a good one.
The Bucket N Hoosier show is recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Mondays, 9:30 p.m. EST,